What is going on, everyone? Just going to go ahead and show you my gun trio formation. The first play I'm going to start out with is Stealer Dig. I think Stealer Dig is one of the top three plays in the game. It's just very versatile. You can do a lot of different things, and it's good versus all coverages. Now, before we get into that play, I'm just going to show you my audibles. I go ahead and I like inside smash at the X button. I like the RPO run at the Y option, and then for the last two audibles, I do use verticals and a deep cross. Now, when you're looking through the ebook, you'll see that I do use tight end in as well. I just like to come out in that play every so often, just mainly based upon what my opponent is doing on defense. Now, is he sending a heavy zone blitz? And yeah, I'm going to run the zone beating version where I can have a lot of short routes. I can dump it off to the wheel. I can dump it off to the hitch. If they're in man, I'm going to run the man beating setup out of that play. So I'm just going to go ahead and come out in Stealer Dig just so you guys can see. I'm going to come out in random plays just so it'll mix up the coverages and I can just kind of explain as I go. So as you can see, it does look like they're in a man type of coverage here, but I mean with this play can be ran versus any type of coverage. I just go ahead and put B on a drag, X on an in, and then I block the running back. I mean, this play spaces out really well. You can hit the drag right over the middle if they don't shade down. You can wait and throw it when he hits the sidelines on the right. With this corner out, it can't be manned up. It does get over all zones depending on when you throw it. And then this in route is just a nice last route to look at. I mean, as he's cutting across and getting past these zones on the left side, you can just dump it off. With this post in the middle, it does get open versus man. It gets open versus cover 2. If you do get the time, you can bomb it versus cover 3 as well. For those who watch my streams, I've been running this formation a lot, and you see me often do one-play touchdowns with that route. So I'm just going to call hike here. As you can see, A completely destroyed that linebacker in man. It doesn't really matter who is there. It could be a cornerback, it could be a linebacker. Regardless, he's going to go ahead. He's going to burn him and be open. You see that time the linebacker played deep, so I just went ahead and dumped it off to the drag route. I'm going to run it a couple more times here so you can see. It looks like they're in some sort of zone here. Unfortunately, Drew Brees sailed it there. I stepped up in the pocket, made the right read, but Drew Brees has a pretty bad pass lead, so fortunately sometimes he sends the ball sailing. The zones are playing deep again, so I just dumped it off. I'm going to run the play one more time for you before I move on. This time it looks like they're in man, so I'm going to have this corner all wide open. See, he's got a safety manned up to him, and he just completely burned him. I'm actually going to score a touchdown. So you can see as it doesn't really matter the speed of the defender over there. He's going to torch him no matter what. So like I said, that's why I like to have somebody around 80 speed out there. So next we're going to move on to setup number 2. All I do here, I go ahead and whip this B route. I block the running back, and I'm going to motion X all the way over on a whip route as well. Now you can run this versus zone or man as well. I use whip routes a lot because they are very good versus man coverage. So you are able to use a lot of these setups versus any coverage because of that. I'll just run it a few times here so you can see. Looks like they're in some sort of man. Yep, they are in man. As you can see, B completely destroyed his defender there. That's an easy 20-yard gain. This play setup I like to mix in. It's kind of dependent on what he's running. It's the best versus man. So if you're running a lot of man, I'll run it more often. So as you can see, this is a very good play setup to mix in. You're able to attack the flats, and you still have that corner and deep post option as well that will force your opponent to shade up because they don't want to give up those easy yards. Next up here, I'm going to show you another setup I just like to mix in. With this play here, Stealer Dig, there's just a lot you can do with it, so I want to go ahead and run it a bunch of different ways just because with my main plays, it's always a play that's very versatile. Things like you can do multiple things with it, attack their opponent different ways. With this play setup, I just go ahead and put X on a smoke screen. I drag this B wide receiver, and then I'll put RB on a wheel route. Now the only other thing I'm going to do here is motion him to the left side just to give me a wheel concept here on the left that will get past the zone so I can throw to him. And then it basically will force your opponent to choose who they want to guard. Do I want to guard this wheel out here, or do I want to go ahead and guard this drag and corner out on the right side? Now, obviously if you have time here, you can throw this post over the middle, but you're not blocking anybody, so if they're sending in the blitz, you're going to have to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. But I'm going to show you how the play works here. Let's go ahead and call hike. The computer wasn't man this time, so I just dumped it off to the tight end. I had the drag wide open as well. The wheel route didn't get open. I mean, it would probably get open after it cuts out field, but the computer did send a blitz, so I wasn't able to throw it. So I'm just going to call hike here. As you can see, wheel route got wide open as they were blitzing. I just threw it right away. It's a nice, easy dump off. I mean, depending on the coverage, you could get a huge gain. You can get 5-10 yards. It's just a great route to throw. Call hike again here. Waited for the corner out to get on above that linebacker on the right side. Just is an easy dot. Like I said, this play is probably one of the best in the game. So real quick here, I'm just going to come out versus cover 2 type defense for my next setup here, just because the setup is specifically just for a cover 0 blitz. Now, as you know, there are a lot of people are running some sort of cover 0. They'll either run like a nickel, they'll run dollar, they'll run 3-4 buck 0. I'm just going to come out in versus a spinner. I believe they have it in this playbook. They do not have it in the playbook here, so they'll have it in 1-4-6. Alright, they have DB sting here. So I'm just going to go ahead and block RB. I'm going to whip B, and then with this X road, I'm going to motion him to the right, and then I'm just going to call hike when he hits the line, just so I block him. It's just going to give me max protection, and then I'll have 3 routes in the field that really beat man. 2 of them are very quick, so I'll have the whip route to the left side that you'll have to use her, or I have the corner route on the right side, which you'll also have to use her. Now, if I do have time, I should be able to hit this post route. With Gilmore on him, it's not going to be open every single time. You'll just have to make the right read. Depends on who's manned up to him, to be honest. So I'm going to call hike. As you can see, B was naked. It's an easy gain. I'm going to run it again here so you can see. Like I said, this is strictly versus cover 0. Basically a setup where you can max protect but still attack the man blitz. So I just threw it right away. It's wide open. I know a lot of people who tune into my streams when I stream. I run this play often, like when people are running like mid blitz, the run 3-4. I run this often and just pick up the blitz, and you're getting a bunch of yards. It's really going to get them out of it quickly. As you can see, I threw it a little bit early, but as soon as Y broke on the play, they actually did get open this time. Looks like he burned the safety here. We're just going to run it one more time to see if I get the time here to throw it. As you can see, he completely torched him. Now this play is very, very good versus man coverage. I'm going to move on to my next play setup here. It's a setup that I like to run versus cover 2, and I actually do utilize the route specialist in this setup. Come on, cover 2. This is just when you know your opponent's in cover 2. You can go ahead and wheel the running back, streak RB, and then I'm going to go ahead and put Y on a corner route, and I'm going to put X on an out route. I'm going to motion X in between Y and B and then call hike. I'm simply just going to have high-low reads on each side of the field, as well as this seam route that you can hit depending on how the coverage is, to see what adjustments they make. As you can see, wide open. You just basically got to make the read. Sometimes it'll have to be quick if they are sending a lot of people, but I mean, if you're playing a person who runs a lot of coverage, a lot of cross man, this is a good place up to mix in, because it's going to attack the sidelines, and with crossman, they want to prevent you from throwing over the middle. So you have to mix in plays to the outsides, that way they don't run the same adjustments every play. So I'm going to run this one more time for you, and then I have one more play set up versus cover 3 utilizing the same technique here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and come out in a cover 3 defense so you can see. I'm just going to come out in a hard flat this time so I stop throwing short routes. Let's see here, cover 3-4, cover 3 hard flat. I'm just going to go ahead and wheel RB. I'm going to streak X, corner Y, and whip route B. So as you can see, this is basically the same setup as the last play, except for I put X on the streak and then B's on the shorter route, just because versus a cover 3 or cover 4, you want your pull route on the outside so it occupies this deep blue on the left. Now as you can see, I'll hike here, and then actually I haven't done a hard flat, so this won't be open, but these routes get wide open. The zone gets pulled by the streak, so you can quickly throw that corner out. I'll also be able to throw the A route on the right side just because I'm shaded down. To be honest, deep blue routes are pretty pointless unless you're in some sort of match coverage, just because they'll match up to the wide receiver. Besides that, you don't really want to be in a cover 3 or cover 4 because they're not very good, to be honest. I'm just going to run it again here. As you can see, the route, Z-streak route pulled that corner over, and that was an easy gain. Before I move on to the next play, I'm just going to run this play one more time for you. The corner was wide open. Even though they did shade down, I was actually still able to make a throw with that whip route. I actually didn't know that previously, so I'm going to call hike here so you can see. Right when he cuts, he's wide open. You're going to have to immediately cut up field or dive down something like that, just because you don't want to get hit over the middle of the field. But point is, you can still throw that before it gets to the hard flat. So I really do hope you guys like this play. Like I stated a few times in the video, Stealer Dig is one of the best plays in the game. Not a lot of people know about it, and I'm going to go ahead and just break down the RPO in the next video.